Ready?
Ready.
Give me a few levels.
Ready. Here I am.
You go testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hello and welcome back to. It's not the Aaron Thompson show anymore. It is podcast with my girlfriend.
Here I am.
How would I say that better? Hello and welcome back to podcast with my girlfriend. Is that better?
It is, but it's a bit like YouTuber-esque.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's only the intro, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
then
right.
after the intro, I can just slump back into
Aaron.
my usual self. Hello and welcome to podcast with my girlfriend. You're joined with my girlfriend Sophia, and I am.
Hi.
No.
Did you not like that bit where I jump in?
No, you should jump in at the end. So I'll introduce and then you come in at the end. Right, ready? I'll go again. Hello and welcome to podcast with my girlfriend. I am Aaron Thompson, writer, filmmaker.
Oh.
I'm joined with my girlfriend Sophia.
Hello.
There we go. That's good.
Right.
Right.
Right. First of all, you put these books here to wind me up.
First of all, how's it going today?
Oh, okay.
I thought we could start with a more social thing, so it's like we haven't actually spoken today.
Oh, okay.
Even though, unfortunately, we spend every waking hour together.
I think we could spend more time together.
You think?
That's right. How am I today? Very drowsy, actually.
Oh, I didn't actually think you was going to answer it.
Oh, for God's sake.
I also thought you'd answer it a bit more interesting than that.
What am I supposed to say?
Like scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, Jesus.
I had this really weird dream last night, and I woke up and I had some toast, but the bread just was like a bit stale, and then like...
I'm not like that. What's this?
I was trying to find your letter. Just keep talking.
Okay.
I'm trying to find this letter. I'm going to have to go in my bag if that's all right.
Oh, he's going to be rustling about.
You hold it together. You keep talking.
You want me to hold it up? Okay. Now that you put me on the spot, I've blanked out.
So you don't fancy hosting the show by yourself, then?
No.
It's like a terrified voice. I love how you think...
You left me alone for more than 5 seconds and crumbles.
No, this isn't a letter. If I can't find this letter, this is going to be really...
Is that quite a big part of the podcast, that
It's really
letter?
going to be teasing the audience.
I was wondering why you had an envelope with a handwritten address on it. It was quite mysterious when I saw it there on the counter.
I think I've left it with my parents.
You absolute nightmare.
No, I haven't got it. It was a handwritten letter.
From an old acquaintance?
No.
Oh.
From Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, of course it was.
It's really entertaining, so I wanted to read it out.
Next time, eh? Next time.
All right, what have you got then?
Right, I was going to say you've left these books here to wind me up. Because there was a time when I thought of myself as a bit of an intellectual, bit of somebody what's spent a lot of time at university, what likes reading, stuff like that. But
I was talking about this the other day to my friend that I'm the I don't even really like the word intellectual, but I'm the type of book smart what's corrupted.
Corrupted.
I'm corrupted book smart. So I will read a book on paganism as you've got there, and then I'll also listen to the most filthiest rap song. Because I see good value
you got everything, really.
I see great value in the filth of the rap.
Yeah.
I don't even mean that the genre is filth, 'cause it's not. I think that it's the most... I think that's when...
Just like gritty.
I think that's where modern writing is now, and I think that's where... these kids are really intelligent. And then I obviously... It's really nice to read a book and read about...
Oh, I'll just sit down and read Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, but that's kind of research as well.
Just sit down and read
But you've also got to understand as well, what all of this is, you were able to have an education what you didn't even really think about.
Yeah.
I didn't. I came from a place where, cracking a book open, you were called gay.
Yeah. That's
and I came from a place, and it wasn't even a term, I learned how to survive.
Yeah.
It's not like a lot of people going, well, you could still read a book anyway. True, but I was more in survival mode. I was just trying to get from day to day.
That makes sense.
So now I'm older and I don't have to entertain anybody. It's more of a privilege for me to read a book than I think it is for you. Hence why there's probably more excitement.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm a bit complacent about it, actually. So I think you're onto something there.
Because if you sat reading a book, nobody's going to really especially just being
no
a
one's
woman
gonna
as
pat me on the
well.
back.
Because there's something about women reading books, like women are just expected to read books as well.
But also whenever I read a book, I feel like I'm just like wasting time, or I'm being selfish or something like that. Like maybe that's anxiety or something, but I just feel like I need to be achieving something.
I think that's on you.
Yeah, that's probably
because
just me.
this year's been a big year for me because it's my favorite year ever was 2009 because I jumped off my roof into the snow doing a Jeff Hardy Swanton bomb.
Perfect.
And for some reason, because I did that year's the best year ever. But this year, I generally think is contender for. I'd say the year when I was traveling a lot and I met you was a bloody good year.
It was up there, top 10 years.
That was a really good year. But I'd say this year is actually. I don't want to jinx it yet because there's still 2 or 3 months left, but I think it really is, just in terms of what's happened to me, the best year. So
oh, wonderful.
I've got my fitness back and then some.
That's right.
I was talking to my friend, the runner the other day, Todd, I can mention him. I was talking to him how I actually think I'm running better than when I was a kid because I think I'm more mature, so I'm focused on my diet.
You're running extremely well.
I'm focused on my the every 10k I did when I was a kid was a push, to be honest, because I've always been a sprinter, never really built for stamina. But I did a 10k the other day with absolutely.
Just casually.
I wasn't even out of breath. Like I felt,
which is mental.
I felt fitness wise I could easily another 4k
because
or 5k.
It's also mad because it's such a jump from what you have been doing.
Like you haven't seen the work I've been putting in because basically
you've not run more than 5k have you recently?
I got extremely comfortable in the relationship to the point of when this is the thing, when somebody's into you, and when somebody's into you good, like you were into me.
Right.
What do you mean where? There's this thing where you realise, within reason, that whatever it is I do in this relationship. No, that's right. I'm going the wrong way about this. Basically, if I was to get a little unhealthy, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Still love you.
Yeah, and that's the mentality I got into. Also, I've spent my whole life being disciplined, running, exercising, and then when I stopped, that's when I got depressed. That's when.
What do you know?
Yeah, that's when I let toxic people creep up. Because even if you're running, it's good. Really. It's good to, you can go through your mind and you can work out. When I run, I'm like, it's almost like opening a vein, and that sounds dark, but I mean it in a nice way. And you can think, oh, that person's really toxic, and then you almost like boxing as you're running. Every step you take on the tarmac, or wherever you run,
like almost like a meditation sort of thing as well.
Yeah, and when I was younger, because I was running, I'm not in the pubs and I'm not in. I'm just not. I'm taking care of myself. I'm around people who are also athletes or just athletic.
Just taking care of themselves as well.
And then when I stopped that, you're getting with. You're eating carbs, you're eating pizza. I really went hard into.
Do you remember when we used to have like that deal where you can get like 2 whole pizzas and chips and like full fat Coke as well from the shop? We used to have that like more than once a week, which is crazy.
But it's even little things of like, I don't think I'd ever grow my hair as long as it once was, unless I really wanted to. I don't think I'd ever try and grow a beard like I did, because they all add to just depression. Because I've got nothing against beards, I've got nothing against long hair, obviously, because I had both, and I'm not saying they actually make the character, because they don't. You can have a beard and you can have long hair, you can run and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I
contributed
to have it. Since I've shaved my beard off, I feel like I've got something back. Because I feel like I'm being honest as well, because obviously a beard can hide jawlines. Not like I've got a terrible jawline, but you know what I mean. It's like you can. It's like a male makeup.
Yeah.
So this year has been extremely important in the sense that I've become extremely fit.
Yeah.
I've read the most books I've ever read in my life, because all the books I used to read were Bukowski, Henry Miller. You know, those sort of books were a bit one note. The voice is what got me into writing and reading.
Yeah, it was like one sort of genre, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, love.
These bloody dogs.
Yeah, but you've been reading like all over, which I guess is similar to your normal music.
Try and break them up.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit like how you listen to music, isn't it? Now.
I would say so.
Remember, please. Hey, chill.
What are you saying? It's a bit like...
like when you listen to music, you can listen to like rap, or you can listen to
that's also
country, or you
that's
can
also
listen
an
to
interesting
whatever.
point as well. When I was highly depressed, I just spent every single hour listening to music when I could. It's like sneaking music. Now I don't really listen to that much music anymore. I still listen to music every day.
Because you don't like need it to physically, like sometimes when you're like depressed, you have to put like a piece of music on or something to physically be able to like get out of bed or do a task that you need to do.
Basically. So the books I've been reading some really big books this year. Bleak House, a lot of Dickens books, what were all big.
Yeah.
That's really distracting.
Sorry.
That's Sophia clicking on the table.
Just trying to keep them separate. Yeah, it's not like you're just reading small books either.
No.
You're reading like big ones, and then you got stuff like this.
So I'm very proud of
whenever you
myself.
get a book, I always say to myself, "Oh, I'd like to read that," but then I don't. But I was about to say that about this.
So yeah, it's more like I'm claiming what I've always had, but it's been through sometimes fault my own, through sometimes fault other people. The world's tried to take it from me. They've tried to say I'm not intelligent. They've tried to say,
but naturally, you could have
I'm not
very academic indeed.
I'm not athletically gifted, or whatever it is. And obviously, a lot of that also falls on me. But this is why this year's been my favourite, and we've got back to travelling.
Yeah.
I would say I'm relatively happy. Any internal anger is fleeting or it's gone. I'd say I've also overcame things where I don't really, if a toxic person tries something on with me, I don't really care anymore. So I'd say
rise above it.
That's really big. So I'd say it's been a good year, one of the best.
I was reading something yesterday which you've reminded me of just now, where one of those, well, I don't get them from Reddit anymore, but on Reddit when it's like, am I the arsehole posts?
Usually always yes.
Usually. But yeah, this woman was saying, am I bad for criticizing how my friend is using her inheritance? And basically the friend like grew up really poor, like her parents were addicts or whatever. She didn't really get a good education. And then when she got the inheritance coming through at 18, she's just been constantly doing like new degrees since then. So she's got like 6 degrees. She's about to start up a new one. And this woman's bitching like, oh, she hasn't even got a job out of any of these degrees. What's the point? My husband earns more than her. She just earns a little bit of money from side projects, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, everyone in the comments was like, what are you talking about? She's living the dream. Like she's literally...
Well, no, I'm actually going to side with the person a bit. You don't need 6 degrees, do you?
Yeah, but the point is,
the point is
she just enjoys learning.
No, that's fine, but also the point is she... You see, I had a chip on my shoulder, but I don't have a thing on my shoulder where I'm not learning now in spite of anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm not... I'm learning because I'm interested and curious. So she may feel that because she had a bad start to life, she has to try and do so much to make up for it.
Yeah.
And you don't need 6 degrees.
I guess.
What are you going to do with 6 degrees?
But when confronted, the friend just said, well, I just enjoy learning and I'm interested, so...
No, I think there's a bit on both sides.
Yeah, maybe. But, yeah, I feel like you're doing that a little bit in your own way. Like, now that you can, you're just absorbing knowledge like a sponge.
Well, we should also say as well, it's not like I've always absorbed knowledge, but this is the first way.
Just in a different medium.
This is the first way I'm doing it in books, because I always found it difficult to be able to concentrate and crack open a book.
I think a lot of like horror ideas and like a lot of things that we probably think are just like part of the culture come from this Inferno.
Yeah, it all comes from
a lot of things in there.
I think if you read an old book, it still relates to modern. I think that's the ego of the artist as well, that you want to make something where it's gonna inspire people and talk to people, so therefore then you live through it.
I mean, this guy's been going. I
Dante.
don't know when this was written.
Or Dante. Everybody calls it Dante's Inferno as if it's the name of the book, but it's actually just
it's Inferno by Dante.
Comedian, or just Inferno. It's basically one long kind of poemish story.
Yeah, when I was just flicking through it, it's like, you've got it in the original Italian.
That's right.
Next to the translation.
Yeah. There's little keynotes about it and stuff, which is good.
Oh.
The introduction's like 100 pages.
Oh, it's fancy this. So
I think it's incredibly important to keep learning and reading about from the actual source. So obviously there's a lot of sources on the internet now.
You could read about this book. Places,
but I'm saying the level of awareness and intelligence in the world, I say, is quite poor. Which is interesting because we've got so much knowledge before us. And I think one of the problems is what we face is, I know we just spoke in the last podcast about relationships, but you have people who are telling people that they're creating whole YouTube channels of how you should get a relationship. But every relationship is so complex and complicated that every relationship has its own different standards and modules, if you like. So it's almost impossible to give anybody advice on relationship apart from the basics. But we're living in this world now where people have been told an idea, these guys are the bad guys, these guys are the good guys, and people either believe them or they go the complete other way and disbelieve them. Instead of just hitting the books, researching the idea themselves, they're just piecing bits of information together and they're having a go.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely going on at the moment.
And I find it very bizarre because we're listening to these modern philosophers who aren't actually saying it. So the big thing now is we don't know what a relationship is. But of course, because
everyone's got situationships and so on.
But of course we do. We've seen it through through history. So we do know what a relationship really is. And we do know what makes a good relationship. We do know what makes good values. But for some reason, okay, of course you have to change a little bit towards the modern world and the modern viewpoint. Yeah. But that should be quite easily done. Yeah. But for some reason, women and men are both forgetting just what the bloody hell is a relationship. Like you have women what come out with crazy things of, this is a red flag, and you just think this is a red flag. If this is your red flag, then like you deserve to be single. And you have guys who are obsessed that all women are gonna hurt them, injure them, or whatever it is, and that you shouldn't get too close, and whatever it is that people believe in. They mustn't. There's people what say things about their relationship what's clearly toxic, but they
but because they're so like brainwashed into that relationship, they just think like it's normal or even something to be proud of. When they come out with those little things,
pretty much, it's very worrying.
Do you think, well, on both things, sort of what we're talking about, all these books and stuff, and relationships as well, even though, like you could say, we're quite an advanced and highly educated country, there's like a severe lack of education. Like it's like people will send their kids to school, but they won't sit at home and tell them about life and relationships and. Like probably places that people would look down on, like third world countries, people probably learn more about relationships and human nature and
I don't believe
stuff like that from their parents.
I don't believe in a overruling intelligence. So I don't believe, for example, I'd say the schooling system is a very bad example of intelligence. I'd also say if you're able to win a pub quiz or lots of random facts, I'd also say that's quite a poor indicator for intelligence. There's many different types of intelligence. There's obviously emotional intelligence, what isn't just to do with the UK, it's to do with every country. Every country in the world will have people with different levels of emotional intelligence. It's to do with values. It's to do with your quest for knowledge, your quest for learning. It's to do with how forward thinking you are. It's to do with, I would say, there's a strength in intelligence of can you stand by yourself when 100 people are attacking you. Yeah. I one of the things what I found very difficult over the past 2 years is women sometimes tend to think of me as a bit of an ally, and
That's
I
right.
think with my upbringing, which is predominantly around women, and I think with just how I am, I would say that's true. I'd say I'm a feminist under the traditional word of meaning
Yeah.
of that word, which is the actual only meaning of the word. Like anybody who's hijacked it's not true. So I'd say I have strong respect for women. And I would say growing up, I've spoken about this before in the past. Sometimes this is what podcast I was repeating conversations, but I spoke a lot in the past. How when I was a kid, I saw women get treated very badly. So my defense for women was maybe stronger than women's were, to be honest. And I think because women have had their own problems for so long and they're finally being heard and whatever, now the pendulum wants to swim and they want to take it out on guys.
Yeah, there's always a temptation to take it a bit too far.
But what I'm seeing now is, and this is just in my own life, I am defending guys more than I've ever done. And this is the thing, I'm not even a big advocate of guys in general. Like, I'm not.
But they deserve a chance as well.
There's, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's not many men in this world, what I'd be particular. I've said this before, like, even though my respect and admiration for women is going down currently, but I'd say overall, 60% of women I would like, and I'd probably say 50% of guys I would like.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's actually true anymore, because just as I'm about,
Yeah.
like, I think, I'm beginning to not believe that. I'm starting to think it is generally more 50-50 now, if I'm being realistic. I think that's just more of a wacky thing I came to my own brain, but I think generally there are good and bad women, and I think both problems are, every single problem is both masculine and female. For example, I think it's really funny that you get annoyed that when we watch fail compilations of women playing football. I really enjoy winding up about that, but at the same time, there's many moments in male football where there's been many mistakes.
Yeah, but it's because the video is saying, look how shit women are at football.
Well, I think there is a slight difference.
Because they're playing like clown music and stuff.
Yeah, I think there is a slight difference in male and female football. Not I'd say at the top level, because I watched a little bit of the World Cup game. Not really interested in watching, but I watched a bit of the World Cup game, and I'd say at that high level, women's football pretty good. But in the lower levels, I still say there's a lot of catching up to do. But overall, what I'm trying to say is there are many mistakes in men's football you can instantly do. Well, to be fair, there are videos that do have clown music of men's as well.
No, fair enough.
So that's also interesting.
Maybe women are just more sensitive about stuff like that.
But what I'm saying is I find myself...
Because there's millions like of videos of men's football, of like compilations of stuff they've done right, or like, stuff that's very skillful and amazing and whatever, but are there that many of women? The only good like compilations that I've seen of women's football that are actually trying to say it's good, it's all like close up of their ass.
Yeah.
So, but is there actually fan videos of women's footballers doing skills and getting good goals and stuff like that?
I've seen a few, but they're
very rare.
You got to understand that it's going to be a male-dominated sport, so.
Which, yeah, I guess that's why it's annoying.
So the audience, what's going to come to it? I don't know if this is true, by the way. I'm guessing it's not, but I'm just got a feeling it is. That the biggest audience for women's football probably is men over women.
Yeah.
That might be. I'm pulling that out of my ass, but I've got a feeling that might be the case.
I just don't think that many women are fussed.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But anyway, what I'm saying is, I find myself defending men more and more and more, which is really fascinating, because most of the problems what arise about men I actually kind of agree with. The problems what I've also had to face myself as a guy. But this past, and it's not even like I've had any negative women in my life. I've had more negative guys in my life than women. So yeah, what is happening?
I don't know. But I don't know, maybe we could do another episode talking about the struggles that men experience these days.
You don't want to do another episode?
Yeah, I think we should do a full episode on that.
Well, I can't really talk for men because I've spent my whole life being avoiding the issues, what they face, but I've obviously come across the issues, and I'd say... So, I'll start like this. I'll say this. Because I've been in relationships, it makes it very easy to get another relationship. And also, when you're in relationships, girls like you more.
Yeah, that's actually scientifically proven.
So, I've never really, and I'm just talking consciously here. I'm not too bad looking, so that's also helped, because
That's right.
there is, at the end of the day, you have to be truthful to why something has worked for you. Because if somebody isn't as attractive as you and they haven't had the opportunities you've had, they're coming from a different place than you are. So,
but do you think part of the attraction as well is just like your energy and your personality?
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying it helps that I've got a bit of symmetry.
Yeah.
Like, it helps.
Yeah, it does help.
So I don't want going this long way around. So I only had issues in my first relationship when I was a kid, and I was dumb and I didn't know anything about anything. And then
which it's kind of crazy that you went straight in for the long-term relationship as well, isn't it? Like, did you have any like little 2-week girlfriends or whatever before that?
No, I pretended to marry somebody at primary school.
Extremely cute.
That was about it. Yeah, I what thread are we on again?
You're talking about how you've avoided the normal traps that men fall into.
Yeah, so I purposely done that as well. So I'd say, again, that's more educational and just me seeing pattern behavior and whatever, what's brought that upon myself. But even with all that aside, I still get, even now, and I still experience back then, just wild things from women. What were
unhinged things.
Yeah, well, we're unhinged. I'm not saying these are just predominantly female issues, and I think a lot of it is also due to the area I came from as well.
Yeah.
But I noticed so many things what were affecting men and what I don't even think men notice.
No, well, I think big advantage that you've got is that you are quite smart, and especially with emotional intelligence, so you can work all this stuff out. Do you know what I mean? Some people are just going through life blind, like bad relationship after bad relationship, and they don't realise
what I want to say to
what the problem is.
This is what I want to say to men.
Oh, here we go.
I'd say the biggest advice I could ever give a guy, if it's just not working for you, is probably try and date out your area, because the area I was in, the girls were expecting a certain type of guy, and because I wasn't that guy, I was a little strange to them.
Yeah.
Because I was the sort of guy who was... this never happened, by the way, but I'm just... for example, I was the sort of guy who was... Some of it's happened. Who was eating cheese on the weekend. Like, I get a cheese board collection. I watch French films.
Oh, isn't he perfect? Red wine with it.
Yeah, I was that guy. And... like, that's kind of maturity before your age.
Yeah.
I would say. But the girls were expecting a guy who was going to drive around really loudly in a car, which I can do, but I didn't. They're expecting maybe a slight bit of misogyny, maybe a slight bit of sexism. Maybe they're expecting just a kid straight away.
Jesus.
And because I wasn't able to provide that, it cut my dating. So, say
cut your dating pool down.
The dating pool dropped to 20%.
Yeah.
So because of that, I feel a lot of men who are by themselves or trapped in the system gravitate towards guys what are telling them to build their body, build their minds, build their discipline, which are all good things, but I feel that's all good, but at the end of the day, just because it's not working for you in an area, you don't have to completely turn to the dark side, and you don't have to believe that
just because you've been messed around by a couple of women doesn't mean all women are evil and they're just out to get what they can from you, and that you should treat them as such.
And I think that's the problem. I think what's happening right now is men aren't getting listened to.
Yeah.
I think men aren't... I don't know what the word would be.
Like almost like because in the past men have had a disproportionate amount of the respect given to them and women haven't. Now women have got some, they don't want to give any back.
I don't think it's to do with that. I think that is happening, but I mean, the issues what men are dealing with. I think the issues what men are dealing with are to do with the modern world. So going to a bar and ordering the drink you actually really want, which might not actually be a beer.
Yeah.
I'd say being able to listen to something where it doesn't have grit to it.
Yeah.
You know, the new Barbie theme, the theme song. Can I listen to that instead of listening to rap or whatever? Can I actually watch a rom-com
and enjoy it?
Even though it's alright, it's pretty
good. But it's actually more attractive for a guy to do those things.
But no, what I'm saying
to show
is,
that he's got a nuanced personality.
I'm saying it's those issues what men are hurting themselves because. So I'm a big fan of men what are. I am a person who likes a guy who is whiskey smoking,
steak eating,
but there's a thin line with. I like those types, but I also like them to have respect. Yeah. So I'd say my granddad's one of those types. I would say.
Yeah, like you can't. What am I trying to say here? Like people see this stereotype and think that's it, and then they think if you want to go along with that, you have to have this attitude towards women like you're better than them, but you actually don't need that at all to be masculine.
Well, as I was talking about in the group chat the other day, the reason why men like rap so much this is because there's honesty in it for men, and honesty which you don't really get in any mainstream media. And that is what propels men into it. Women tend to look at it and just see the surface level of it. They just see he's talking about.
They're saying women are bitches.
Yeah, but obviously everybody. The thing is, also there's a context to it of the world these rappers grew up in.
Yeah, because they grew up like, on the streets where
a bitch really was a bitch.
That's really how you talk about each other. So they're
but I'm saying the women they're talking about are really bitches. There's no this so a lot of people, if you grow up in like a nice estate and stuff like that, usually the woman is a little bitchy.
Yeah, but she's not full on bitch because she doesn't have to be.
No, so they're rapping from a different place.
Yeah, and
a place where it's hard to get out of, it's hard to make it, so hence why there's the aggression to it. They're rapping about there's honesty
which
to
I
it.
think men like that as well because it's like aspirational, isn't it?
And I think there's a lot of irony to it as well because a lot of men, including myself in this, we grew up not really, women didn't really like us when we were kids.
Yeah.
And then now that we're older, it's kind of ironically funny that women are into us. There's also an interesting thing of, I know there's a whole theory that if a woman plays around, she's a hoe, and if a guy plays around, he's a stud.
Yeah.
That I don't really want to break it down today. But
that's a big one.
But there is something interesting about a guy actually who is a rapper playing. Like, it's something you just don't really expect the rapper to be settled down.
No.
And I don't think society should. So in a way, when a guy's listening to this, I mean, there'll be some guys who think it is a fantasy, and there'll be some guys who take it at face value, but that's different. I'm talking about, I would say the majority of men can understand that a lot of the lyrics are ironic, a lot of the lyrics are funny.
Exaggerated.
A lot of the lyrics are fantasy or daydreaming or just, or they're truthful to the point of, and that's why.
Or like they're exposing the ugly side of themselves. Yeah,
that's why a lot of men gravitate towards this. And I always say, I think you should be wary of the man who is not into this, because there's a whole subculture now what's going on underneath normal men of men what are simping to women, and men that are being Mr. Nice Guy and saying, "Oh, I'm not into rap," or I don't want to go to the pub, or I don't want to. I think that's also the second problem what's happening, because it's cutting the balls off the guys, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, which is, like we said before, not attractive.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Do you think it's like back in the day, like say your grandparents' day, a big part of what they were taught when they were younger, like what it means to be a man, is how you treat a woman with respect, look after her, blah, blah, blah. But because women don't really need that anymore, do you feel like that's part of the reason as well why men feel a bit lost and don't know how to act towards women.
Well, I think there's multiple things happening. I think you have the fact that it's just socially now, I think it's a bit more acceptable for women to actually sleep with other women, because obviously through history, men weren't really around intimately in the way they needed, so a lot of women experimented with each other. And I would say in an interesting way, I would say a lot of women are realizing they can get what they need from their girlfriends.
Yeah.
In any respect. So I'd say that's got a huge cultural shift on men. I'd also say a lot of women are unwilling to correct their flaws and try and date an A-tier man. As I'm saying, I think culture at the moment, it's very popular to go for the nice guy or the... I mean, this is the thing as well. You can go for a nice guy, but also a nice guy a bit of a grit, as you're saying in the last podcast. You don't have to just go for... you can just go for a nice guy. But I'm just saying, there is something about nice guys where,
like they're a pushover.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about that. There's something about nice guys where I don't trust them. There's something that not there what I just don't trust, and I think they're playing the game. Well,
like they're suppressing their own.
I've told you this the other day.
A little bit.
Just how women can spot bitches amongst their ranks, men can also spot, what do you call them? Dicks amongst their ranks. So most men can spot. So there'll be men listening to this podcast now. And they'll be able to spot little things what I'm doing, because I'm talking to a woman, so they can notice little.
You're playing tricks on me.
Not tricks, but just the way I'm carefully approaching things, and they can spot. So if there's 4 guys around the table now, or if I'm at a pub, this conversation would be completely different. Basically, I'm not saying it would probably just be a bit more truthful. And when you're truthful, it's a little bit more harder for people to swallow.
Is that what those guys are trying to present when they do the like those podcasts about women and how to get women and stuff like that? They're trying to go for that angle.
Yeah, but it's slightly different. They're usually based in hypocrisy, so they're always like. I'm promoting OnlyFans on no values, like, and I'm promoting numbers, and which isn't.
But at the same time, you want a woman
which isn't gonna
a virgin or whatever. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it isn't really bringing much hope or help, because most of the men who are listening to this advice aren't rich, and their rules don't apply in the world they're living in. So they're going to go out and they're going to try and use these rules, and they're just going to look dumb as fuck, basically. So that's the problem with that. But there is a big problem with both male and female, or humans, I guess, can be they love following people.
Yeah, true.
That's a big problem. That whatever sounds like whatever fits their ideology, they'll follow it into the depths.
Yeah, then once you get caught on that person, you don't even really like think rationally about it anymore. You're just like, oh well, I trust that person. So even though you haven't met them in real life.
So I'd say there's a lot of cultural things what are happening. What are like, even when you see modern couples now, there's just something about them what I just don't get. I always feel like there's something missing. Like there's the whole dog culture now, which I find quite creepy, actually. The whole idea that they're getting into relationships and having these dogs, but there's just I see a few decent couples about. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get them, but there's so many couples about now where I just don't quite understand what is happening here.
Do you feel like they're just sort of going through the motions?
And well, the I don't know what the guy's doing. Like I saw a couple earlier, and the guy had a neck beard, and he was happy. And no. By the way, can I say I'm a happy person, but like I don't know, I'm just not walking around just you know what I mean? I'm not walking around with my girlfriend and there's a dog and what are we doing? Like, I just find it weird. And
some guys like going for a walk with a dog.
I don't think they do. I think they're playing a game, and I think they're.
But sometimes it's the guy's idea to get a dog.
Maybe I just don't like the guy then.
Yeah, maybe it's just not your guy.
I mean, there's so many couples about. I'm just not feeling them. I just don't.
But is it because a lot of people are just not that smart? Do you know what I mean? That's
Well,
why you're not feeling much from them.
There is the whole idea that it's almost like a nightmare that you want to think that everybody's culpable for their actions, everybody's actually intelligent, everybody can think outside the box.
They literally
but
can't.
In reality, they take whatever it is you say or whatever it is they believe, and they don't nuance it. Because everything you're saying has nuance to it. And when we're saying it, for example, on this podcast, we know exactly what we're saying is nuanced.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just
don't want it to be like black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it also comes out of the way our game shows in the country are ran, and the way our press works, etc. But yeah, I just, when I look around, I'm just not feeling these couples. Like I don't really believe in them.
You don't? Do you believe that like they really care for each other?
Yeah, I believe. I don't.
Or do you see? Is it because you don't really see like a deep connection between them, like on a deeper level? Because sometimes the couples, they feel a bit superficial. Do you know what I mean?
I think, for me, things have to have intensity. Every aspect of life needs intensity. Whether you're, I don't know. You know, if you're washing the dishes, it's like come on, I mean, let's wash them and get them done. But that's not euphemism. But then there's some couples, and I just don't quite get it. They're just
bumbling around.
Just like, and then they're just like, oh, I've got a day off, and what should we do? Let's go walk the dog in the park. And then they go to the park, and they're like, oh, isn't the dog funny? The dog's just like picked a stick up. Oh, isn't that like funny? And they go back, and it's like, oh, look.
But do you feel it's because those are all things that the woman likes, but the man's not putting his input in? Like, the woman wants to go for a walk in the park because it's like, oh, cute.
No, this is what I like.
And he's just going along with it.
Right, I love a couple. So it's very rare you go on a couple date that's good. But when you go on a couple date, both parties have their own opinions. When you go on a couple date, you want the man and the woman to have you want the man to be a savage, you want the woman to be a savage. You want the guy to be like, look, I don't trust people. When I meet somebody and they're like, like her cooking's not very good or something like that, it's like, all right, I like this guy. You know what I mean? No, I like him because he's telling me something, and it may be wrong, it may be inaccurate, maybe even misogynistic, but it's like he's telling me something. And then the woman's like, oh, he's got like a coin collection. It's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's like, oh, interesting. So I like that. I like when I see that, and but the thing is, people don't value that honesty in relationships.
They just want to be like bigged up all the time.
No, what I'm saying is, when people get into relationships, it's a tick box. It's, we've got the little dog, we're gonna go on a Valentine's date at this restaurant. He's bought me some chocolates, and she's bought me some. He's bought me some flowers, and she what would the guys have on Valentine's Day?
A blowjob.
She's done that. She's provided me with the oral sex. Now we're gonna go back to work, and then on Christmas I'm gonna buy her an advent calendar of the dog what I've took pictures of in the garden. And it's like, I don't like. It might just be a cultural thing. It's like, what? You mean, what do we do? And this is why I think.
Do you just find it a bit boring, maybe?
Yeah, this is why I think. Like
the whole existence is boring.
Yeah, this is what, not all of them, of course, but this is why I think
of this fictional couple that we're talking about.
Well, there's many couples I've seen about.
Yeah, but this is like one example of them.
Yeah, I mean, I may be reading too much into the one person I've seen today, but I just like
just saw him from a distance. No, like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. I was just like running. It was like intense, and I was just like, yeah. And then the dog got in my way.
Oh dear.
And then the woman went, and then the guy also.
Sorry.
And the guy also went like that.
Is that funny?
And then I just went like that, like, oh, all right, yeah. And then I can't really do these actions when it's on camera.
I think if your dog gets in someone's way, you're supposed to say, "Oh my god, sorry," and yank your dog out of the way.
Yeah, and then they're just like, I think maybe they're too into themselves. That's also another problem when there's a couple.
They think everyone thinks they're cute, and everyone thinks their dog's cute, and like everyone wants to be them. And it's like, no.
But sadly, yes. I think if they post a picture on Facebook, They're getting 120 likes easy, or they're getting, oh my god, you're so cute. I goals or whatever.
Hashtag couple goals.
Yeah, because I'm saying I don't think people know what it is. Like this
Here's one for you. If anyone puts hashtag couple goals in a post, right, they've got relationship problems.
If anybody talks about their relationship, in like, you know what I mean, when people
put posts on, they're like, oh my god, he's my world, he's my rock, I love him so much. Just shut up.
When people are posting too many pictures of their spouse, whatever, or girlfriend, it's me and a girlfriend, you know, within a month they're going to be breaking up.
Literally. Yeah.
I hate those posts as well. No, I mean I like to do sentimental posts because I like to give people things.
Yeah.
That's different. But I hate those posts where it's people are just I don't really know what I'm talking about 'cause I don't really go on social media, but it's just like I've seen them about.
You've seen them.
They're just like I met so and so on October the 36th and life was going nowhere, and then she completely changed my life and I've been smiling since. Today marks.
It's also like stuff like that. Sentimental stuff. I don't feel like everyone needs to know that. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if that's really how you feel,
it cheapens it.
That's private, emotional stuff. Like,
it just tells me that they don't have a
yourself.
sex life. That's what it tells me.
Interesting.
You don't think?
I don't know. I've never.
Because it's too
wet.
It's too white picketed. It's just like
No intensity, as you would say.
yeah. It's dry. Is that?
I've called it wet. You've called it dry. Who knows?
Because dry means high, doesn't it?
It means what?
High.
High. I don't know. I meant wet, like a bit pathetic. Do you know what I mean?
Like a wet blanket.
Like a wet blanket.
All right, we've hit our end anyway.
Do you think?
You got anything else to say?
Oh, have I? I don't know. Maybe have a think about your relationship today.
No, because that's the thing is, it's weird because when you do a podcast, I look out the window. I'm like, I hate everybody outside, and I walk about. I'm like, I don't like anybody here either. And I go into like a coffee shop, and then there's some people going, "Oh, it's actually you who's the problem." Oh, really? So you think everybody else on this planet's good, then, do you? you think that guy over there who's spitting on the street's good? Well, he might have something in his mouth. Oh, really?
Yeah,
is that what you
spitting
think?
on the street is gross.
Do you think all these people in the supermarket?
It's when they like go like to get the spit together.
Obviously, I'm being a bit zany, but obviously,
zany.
I think 60% of people are trash. So it's really weird that when you do a podcast, it's like you're trying to attract people to you, but then at the same time,
but not like, those.
But it's like no, because I think they'll get annoyed at you anyway, won't they? They'll just get annoyed at you and go away. But then it's like you're talking about people, but then do you ever think that like say if you've got like a famous podcast or whatever, if they actually met some of their subscribers, listeners,
they'd be like, "Fuck me."
Yeah, they would just be like, who are these animals?
Well, I guess it's like all the big podcasts and stuff, like have tapped into that market. You know, like Joe Rogan can be appreciated by the intelligent and the stupid alike. I think is that the secret to success.
Because that's a sliding scale. But then there's also people who are just really aggressive to their audience, just like they don't really like anything, and then people like that. You know what I mean? That's why I don't think you can ever really do this thing properly. I think you literally just have to be yourself as best you can be, and then because you can't really predict what people are like. Because one minute people might like this person, and the next minute might like a sarcastic person, and there's also. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when I go outside, it's like I don't really particularly like anybody here. But then it's like I'm trying to do a podcast where I'm hoping to encourage people or whatever. You know what I mean? Entertain people. Yeah,
but this is going out over the world. There'll be little errands going around.
But that's the same thing. That's what I'm saying. At the same time, I don't want my own types either.
Oh, I don't know. What do you want, love?
I just want people what I would like in real life to listen. Okay. Really.
Well, they'll be around.
Do you think?
Yeah, they'll be listening right now.
Well, do you like everybody in real life?
No, who does?
That's what I'm saying. Well, then people, when you are that person where you're like, oh, I don't like anybody.
I wouldn't say I don't like anybody, but well, people are inherently flawed, and some more than others. Some people have good qualities what make them tolerable, and some people don't.
I am a big believer in redemption, though. I think I believe in redemption more than other people. I'm very happy for a criminal to make good. I'm very happy for somebody who's done something quite heinous to make good as well. I'm a big believer in people have to learn. But I think my hatred.
People should be given opportunity and education to become the best version of themselves, and then it's up to them, isn't it?
Yeah. All right.
Leave it there. Lots of things to think about.
All right.
Goodbye.
So obviously you can watch.
Here it comes. I forgot about this bit.
You mean the bit what's going to sell the show?
That's right.
So of course you can go over to Spotify and you can check out Podcasts with My Girlfriend. Where you're able to watch all the episodes and catch new episodes.
You sound like a flight attendant.
I don't have to do this, do I?
You got your flight attendant voice on. Yeah, I know, that's what makes it funny.
I don't know what people like. It's all part of it again. Some people think, oh, this is probably the best bit of the podcast now.
Do you think?
Look, oh, this is when he finally became professional. Actually, did what I actually like.
Stop.
So you can watch the Aaron Thompson. That's not Aaron. You can watch the.
It's not called that, love.
You can watch Podcasts with My Girlfriend. You can listen to Podcasts with My Girlfriend on Spotify. You can.
I don't think anyone's thinking you're professional now.
You can catch old. Yeah, because you threw me off.
So love.
You can watch. You can listen to old episodes and enjoy new episodes. We record 12 episodes every 3 months to listen at your disposal. This is an independent podcast, so please like and subscribe and share it because it's very important.
Correct.
If you feel like somebody might like this or they're part of your little circle, and
if they've got a good sense of humour.
That's saying that I'm actually joking. I might not be joking about hating everyone.
Oh, right, okay.
I think this is informative. This is an informative piece. You can see it in all the newspapers tomorrow that everybody on the planet is given the new title is trash, apart from a few people.
And then I'll just say Aaron Thompson.
No, I'm not putting my name to that.
Your name's on the podcast, love.
No, I haven't said anything. I said I loved everybody, didn't I?
I must have heard you wrong.
No, I think I said that I loved everybody and everybody was great.
Oh, right, yeah.
And well-spirited.
No, that's what you said.
All right.
Bye then.
Adios.
Bye.